Hello and welcome to the Capa podcast. My name's Matt. I'm the senior practitioner for Capa First Response, and I'm joined today, as ever, by our founder and CEO, Jane Griffiths. Hi, Jane. How you doing?
Hey, Matt. How you doing? So lovely to be here with you.
With me.
Face to face.
I know.
In your lovely flat. Sunny.
It's a rare treat, isn't it?
Fantastic. You know what? It is a rare treat.
Yeah.
I think it's so lovely to be together to record this.
Yeah, I agree. It already feels a lot more real.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah. So this series is going to be slightly different to what we've done previously, isn't it? Do you want to say a little bit about why we're doing this series to begin with?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess our previous series that we've thought about, we've sort of been in conversation with, or we've been Zooming and speaking to particular people about particular issues. This one is really designed for families who feel a bit more isolated, whether that be via location or through circumstances and their experience, feel like they're unable to talk to people. And we wanted to provide something that families could access 24/7, regardless of their locations. I also think it's really important to say that East Sussex Local Authority sort of really commissioned us to do this because they really wanted to support families living in those rural outlying areas who found it really, really difficult to get support. And we'll be offering I guess if we were to sit, Matt, and think about what would be our top 5 or 6 strategies, we're sort of aiming to sort of think about those strategies for families, aren't we? That's what the series is going to be about. Yeah,
so it's a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit. I mean, I think hopefully all of our podcasts have been useful, but this is something a bit more tangible, a bit more solid that people can use and put into practice.
Yeah, we're not thinking about, these episodes aren't for about us understanding what this issue is. This is really, let's go, what's the support that we offer to families? And let's share that. Yeah.
I think you said a minute ago that these are like probably 5 or 6 of our top strategies that we know are useful to quite a few different families that we work with. But it's always really important to say that nothing works all of the time. And there isn't one thing that is going to work for every single family. And even if it works for that family, it doesn't mean that it's going to work 100% of the time. So it's just important that we say that at the top, I think, to say these are all ideas that, have a listen, keep it in mind. Hopefully you think, I'm going to give that a try. But even if you think, it's not going to work for me, that doesn't feel quite right, hopefully you'll still think about the idea behind it. And even if you don't action anything from it, you can think about why it might be useful and why it might be important. And hopefully there's some use in that as well.
Yeah, and I think, a reminder that all of our work and all of our support to families is tailored and bespoke. We speak to families and think, what's happening for them in their home? And we can, it could be that we don't talk about any of these strategies, but generally what we've found out is these strategies come into our support at some point for families. And there will be somebody out there listening to this and maybe think, I can't get on board with what Matt, I can't get on board with what that strategy that you've spoken about, but I can really get on board with this other strategy. And we anticipate that and expect that. I think what's important as well is that, everything we're going to be sharing in this series, it's not going to do any harm. It's all relationship building. And that's only a positive thing. You may see things, and we'll talk about that in one of the episodes that we're going to be presenting about, what can happen if actually things do feel different. My child has noticed something's different. What do I do then? So, and we'll sort of address that, won't we? I think it's episode 2 when we're thinking about our safety planning.
Okay. So that's a little bit about why we're doing it. And some of the things we're going to be covering, but it's going to look a little bit different from our other podcasts, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, up until now, it's been us chatting, hasn't it? And having conversations. What we've decided to do with this, which will look a little bit different, is at the beginning of every episode, we'll have a little explanation around what we're doing. This isn't about explaining why this happens, because we've done that. This is about sharing those strategies, how we would share them with a family. So we're doing it separately. So I'm going to be presenting 3 of them and thinking about 3 strategies, and you're going to be presenting 3 of them and support 3 strategies.
Yeah.
But we're doing them solo, so they won't have that opportunity of a back and forth. And I think that's going to be the main difference that people will see.
Yeah, and I think that's hopefully will make it a little bit more useful, because you can follow along. You're not listening to a conversation, like you're saying, of us back and forth. You're listening to us giving you a strategy as we would, in a session. Yeah. If, as we were explaining it to you and kind of telling you why we're suggesting you do this, what the background is to it. Is there anything else we've missed, Jane?
I don't think we have. Hopefully we can just, let's do it. Let's give it a go.
All right, let's get into it. Hi, Jane.
Hey, Matt.
So today's episode is another kind of dual episode where we've got a couple of things we're going to be talking about, or you're going to be talking about. Mm-hmm. But they're both, again, really closely linked in terms of what they're trying to do, if you like.
Yeah.
So we're talking about invites to spend time.
Yep. And
hold in mind texts.
Yep.
Do you want to tell us just very briefly what are these things? What's this about?
Well, I think it's probably, one of the strategies that does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
It's a hold in mind text.
Yeah.
And it's an invite to spend time. But what does that actually look like in reality? I think I spoke in episode 5 about, these 2 strategies being more for secondary age focus. Right. Again, you can use them across the board, but we sort of focus more on secondary, probably because of the texting aspect. Yeah. But we'll talk about, although we're saying hold in mind text, how else can you use these strategies?
Tweaks, aren't there,
it's all about building relationship and rebuilding trust. When your relationship with your child has been really difficult and really tricky, sometimes that trust can disappear or be really wobbly. And these strategies about rebuilding that trust without the demands. Now, you would have talked about in previous episodes about those demands and how that can be really, really difficult for children and young people. This is about rebuilding trust and rebuilding relationship without thinking about those demands. Yeah. So they're really lovely things to do. And we'll share some anecdotes of parents that have fed back to us, how it's really supported their relationship with their child. Some really lovely anecdotes to share in this one.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to get going.
All right, let's do it.
So this episode, I am going to be introducing invites to spend time and hold in mind texts. This is all about letting your child know that you are paying attention to them. Again, it's a really lovely way to rebuild trust in the relationship with your child. Often when a child is using this behaviour, that trust can be really difficult to maintain. So this is a really lovely way to rebuild trust between you both and show your child that you are paying attention to them. And sometimes when we first introduce this to parents, sometimes they can feel they may struggle with an invite, or struggle with a hold in mind text, or struggle with a hold in mind introducing something that's holding them in mind. But we're going to talk through that a little bit. So what do we mean by those things? So let's start with a hold in mind, either a text or something you're doing with your child to introduce the fact that you're holding them in mind. So it goes back to not having any expectations, no demands of your child. You're not expecting anything back from this, except simply letting your child know, I'm holding you in mind. How nice is it to get a text from somebody that maybe you haven't heard from for a while, or even your partner or a friend, or even one of your children that just says, love you, thinking about you. Hope you're having a nice day. Oh my God, this photo came up on my Facebook feed today and it made me think about you. How nice does that feel? So if your child has a phone, you can simply send them a hold in mind text saying something similar. Thinking of you, hope you're having a nice day. Remember, this isn't about asking questions or figuring out where they are or trying to find out what's happening for them. This is simply a statement. Hope you're doing all right. Full stop. Thinking about you today. Full stop. This photo came up, made me think of you. Smile. Could be a photograph you take of your day. If your child doesn't have a phone, there are lots of other things that you can do. You can put a little note on their bed or a little note in their lunchbox, love ya. Little note on their bed, hope you had a good day. Maybe a little chocolate, a special chocolate in their lunchbox, or a special chocolate on their a chocolate bar that they really like. It doesn't have to be anything that costs money. It can simply be a little note. As I say, what's really important about hold in mind, something to introduce holding in mind or a hold in mind text is, don't expect anything. You're not expecting anything back. I remember I was working with a mum who was trying to reconnect with their child who actually wasn't living with them. And they just wanted to connect. So they sent some texts to their child. And I remember mum saying to me, Jane, I've probably spent about 50 texts this month and I'm not hearing anything back. What do I need to do? And I just reminded mum that this wasn't about what you're getting back. This is about letting your child know you're holding them in mind, because once they've read that text or seen that note or had that chocolate, they don't unknow it. They can't forget it. They've opened it, they've spoken about it, they've seen it, maybe not spoken about it, but they've seen it, they've read the text. They may have eaten the chocolate. You can see the chocolate wrapper in the bin. You may even find that the note is screwed up in their bin, but they have seen it. And that's the important part. It's about continuing to do it. It's about creating in your child that consistency of that is what you're going to do. A parent came to me who had a very, a challenging communication with their child, and their child's like, there wasn't any communication happening. They would come home from school, they would go upstairs to their room, they would often put earbuds in, they would come down to dinner, eat dinner with their earpods in, and disappear again. Really wanted to have nothing to do with the parent. And what we introduced was getting a little blackboard that they put on the stairs. So when their child came home from school, it simply said, hiya, hope you've had a good day. Something in the kitchen for you, little something in the kitchen for you. And she would do that every single day, Monday through Friday. And every single day, Monday through Friday, the little thing that had been left would be taken or eaten. So they knew that their child was paying attention and seeing what was on the blackboard. And she used to extend the notes, little things. They were never anything that was a demand, never a question mark. It was a simple statement. Really lovely thing and powerful thing to do. And then we introduce invites to spend time. What do I mean by that? Well, it's, changing that text to potentially include not only the hold in mind, but also then to include, hi, I fancy watching a movie on Friday. I haven't seen Top Gun for ages. So I'm going to watch Top Gun and I fancy a pizza. I'm going to start the movie at 7. I would love it if you joined me, full stop. Or it could be, hey, listen, that concert of that band we really like? I'm going to watch that tonight. Do you fancy it? I would love it if you watched it with me. I'm going to start it at 8, full stop. What's really important about an invite to spend time is, if you say you're going to do it, you must do it. So it's not an empty invite. Often what will happen is a child will come down at 7:30, 8 o'clock, halfway through the movie, see that there's maybe a slice of pizza left. It's not about stopping the movie. Oh, hello, thank you. Oh, it's so lovely to see you. Oh, look, this is the bit we're up to. It's simply acknowledging that they've come into the room. Hiya, there's pizza left, and carry on watching the movie. Often our child will want to come in. Are you really doing what you say you're going to do? We're trying to be authentic. We're trying to be genuine. It could be putting the kettle on if you fancy a cuppa. I'm taking the dog for a walk around the block. I'm leaving in 5 minutes. I'd love it if you joined me, full stop. I'm going into town. I'm going to go grab coffee and some lunch, but I need a pair of socks. I'd love it if you came with me, full stop. I'm leaving at 12. But leave at 12 and go into town and get your socks. It's about fulfilling what you say you're going to do. So the mum who had left the hold in mind notes on the chalkboard, on the blackboard, she started to put some hold invites to spend time. And she noticed that her child would come down and just check in of what was happening, and then would sit with her. And she put on some music and some concerts and footage of a band that she knew herself and her child enjoyed. And her child would come down and sit next and watch what was happening, and started little conversations. Now, listen, as a parent, if you're with your child and your communication can be difficult, the last thing you need to do, even though you may be desperate to do it, how are you? How are you doing? It's so lovely to see you. I'm so excited to have you down here. How are you doing? How's school? How's your friends? Please don't interrogate your child. Bite your tongue. Just be with them there in that moment. Talk about what you're doing or what you're listening to. You go for a walk around the block with your child. Maybe they come and walk the dog with you. Don't refrain from asking lots of questions as much as you really want to, because you want to find out what's happening for your child. Talk about your day. Oh my gosh, this happened to me today. Oh my God, you should have said, I walked the dog the other week, and start talking about something relating to you, because that will inevitably open up conversation between you and your child. The moment you start that interrogation, how are you? How are you doing? It's so lovely to talk to you. Nobody would want to be part of that conversation. Nobody wants to be interrogated. This is about rebuilding trust and rebuilding relationships. And they're really lovely ways to go about doing that. So a couple of key things to remember. If you're going to do a hold in mind text, if you're going to put a little note somewhere, do not be upset if you do not get anything back. If you're expecting something back, it's not genuine, authentically doing it for the right reasons. So you may have 50 texts that you're not responded to. It could be that one text that comes in 3 months down the road. And in our experience, that is what has happened. So don't be downhearted. I know it's difficult. I know it can feel really hard. Oh, I'm giving. It's about rebuilding trust. It's about letting your child know you're thinking about them. Even when things are really hard and really difficult, you're thinking about them. And that can be really, really important. And the invite to spend time, if you're going to go and do that, do it. If you say you're going to put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, so put the kettle on and have a cup of tea. If you say you're going to go and take the dog for a walk around the block, go take the dog for a walk around the block. If you're going to say you're going to sit and watch a movie and eat pizza, watch the movie and eat pizza. Because the moment your child comes down and just checks what's happening, if you're not doing it, then your child will see through what is happening. It's about saying, this is what I'm going to do, and I genuinely would be thrilled if you spent some time with me. And this is what I'm doing. Anyway, lovely strategies, invites to spend time, a hold in mind, introducing something that's holding them in mind, or a hold in mind text. Again, please remember that if you want any more information about any of our services or any of our support, please do go to our website, capafirstresponse.org, or email us, info@capafirstresponse.org.